Hey guys, it's Alex, and in today's video, I want to go over the only bed and breakfast marketing plan, marketing strategy that you would need, whether you're new or established bed and breakfast, if you want to just keep your rooms booked and keep growing your B&B. I have everything listed here, and I'm just going to go through each of these with some examples and some explanations, and that you can use these strategies and implement it for your own B&B if you want to keep growing your bed and breakfast business. So let's just jump right into it. Everything's going to start, right? The core of your bed and breakfast marketing strategy is going to start with your website, right? You want a basic website that works well on mobile, and it needs to be easy to book a room online. It needs to be easy for people to contact you, and it needs to be easy for people to call you. And we can just go here, bed and breakfast. Let's go with Adirondacks, and I want to show you why. A lot of bed and breakfasts, for example, just are using age websites, dated websites. It's difficult to book, and anytime your user, so somebody that is looking for a bed and breakfast that does, and look at this, there's none in the top on the first page. Anytime that a user does have any difficulty with booking something, with finding information, they're just going to leave the website. They're just going to click back, and they're going to visit one of your competitors. And let me just show you why. So here's a good example, right? Right away, you can book your adventure or book your trip. It does send you to a booking portal, which is fantastic. You can see the phone number up here. You can click to call. You can also click check availability, right? There are calls to action throughout the content, and this is fantastic, right? This is what you would want. This is a good example of what your website should look like from a bed and breakfast standpoint. Let's check this one. Again, you can check room availability. You can view rooms. These are sending you to a booking portal. Again, check room availability. I would have a book now button, but again, great example. And let me see if I have a third great example. This one is not as good. And again, all I can do is view rooms. There is a book now up here, but not so many book now or booking options throughout the content. So while the site does look good, you would want to add a few more book now options. And again, all these are simple, really nice designed, really basic, and I'm sure these work fantastic on mobile. That is just the entry level. That's the bare minimum of what you need for your bed and breakfast website. Keep in mind, you just want to make it as easy as possible for people to either call you or contact you or book a room. That is at its core what the website is for, right? And then from there, of course, there are things that you would need to focus on from the website, but we'll get into that in a minute. The next thing you want to think about implementing is a paid media strategy. For example, it's not showing me as many ads as it would because I've been doing a lot of searches this morning, but for any location, for example, Charleston Bed and Breakfast, right? You're going to see ads for every search. There's going to be sponsored content or ads at the very top. In a lot of cases, example, if you do a search for in your area right now by yourself, you'll probably see 4 ads showing before it even gets into the Google Business Profile, so the map pack, and then you won't even see organic results until 70-80% down the page, right? So as we can see here, your competitors in Charleston, for example, are running ads. Then there is the Google Business Profile, or map pack rather, showing businesses. And then finally, when we scroll down past all of this, you have the organic results showing, many of which are actually just huge websites that are offering kind of a directory or reviews of every bed and breakfast in Charleston, right? So if you're not running ads, you're not showing up probably until page 2 or 3, and most people are just not going to find your bed and breakfast. Thankfully, when it does come to ads, a lot of the businesses that are running, most bed and breakfasts are not running ads, and the ones that do are running them very poorly. This one is fine, right? But this one is, it's in Georgetown, for example. Maybe that's a suburb of Charleston. I'm not sure. Let's check to see. Does it even say Charleston? No. So I'm not actually sure why this would be showing up for maybe it's nearby. No, it's nowhere nearby Charleston. So again, that's the competitors for things like paid media. I'm not sure why this business would be running an ad here. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for for them and for what the user is looking for. For example, when they are looking for Charleston Bed and Breakfast, they are most likely to click this, follow through, make a booking, or contact them, and then it's this business that is going to get the bulk of the searches. And like I said, you want to be running ads because look at all the websites here that are listed where it's going to be extremely difficult to show up organically, so show up without running ads for your bed and breakfast website in a hyper competitive area like Charleston, right? You're not going to outrank TripAdvisor or Booking.com, for example. So you want to be running ads so that you are showing up at the top of the pages, and you should have a paid media budget in any marketing plan for your bed and breakfast. The next thing is going to be SEO and your Google business profile. So, for example, when we look at bed and breakfast in Savannah, right? Again, beyond all these OTAs and everything is, I think this is showing in the UK for some reason, but let's find a bed and breakfast. Here we go. Here's the Kehoe House, which is actually a hotel. So let's actually find, here we go, Savannah bed and breakfast, the Foley House Inn. So what I mean by SEO is how the pages are structured, how the site is structured in a way that provides Google all the information they need. And we can actually click here and see their SEO. You can see that the page title, right, is Savannah Bed and Breakfast, which is fantastic. They did mention Savannah Bed and Breakfast in the description. Unfortunately, when we hop to their actual headings, so the headings on the page, you can see that it just says Savannah Historic Inn. That is completely, they're missing the point here of, they're missing the point here of what their page is supposed to be about. You would want your heading, your main heading, your H1 heading on any page to be hyper relevant to what people are looking for. So in this case, it should say Savannah Bed and Breakfast. And you can also see that other headings are not exactly relevant to what, there's a lot of empty headings, but a lot of these headings are not exactly relevant to what Google would want to see and what a user would want to see on a page about a bed and breakfast in Savannah. So even this website, right, just a few small changes of targeting the actual Savannah bed and breakfast keyword could make a huge difference and could actually bump these guys onto the first page since they are ranking quite well already. And beyond that, you would want to have things from an SEO standpoint of these guys have their accommodations covered, right? You would want to add a lot of helpful content in the form of blog posts that you can use to actually drive traffic or push relevance to your homepage. So people that are going to be visiting Savannah are going to be looking for a lot of things like places to eat, things to check out, walking tours, what are the best bed and breakfast, stuff like that. You would want to create content around all of that information regularly and funnel it, point all this content to your homepage so you can target throughout the website that bed and breakfast in Savannah keyword, and then that just boosts its relevance, boosts its authority in the search engine and Google, and it's just going to help get your website to show up further up towards the top in the Google search engine results. Now there are a lot of aspects of SEO for example, things like backlinks, but for the purpose of the marketing plan, just a broad marketing plan video, it's something I'll get into in a future date. You also want to optimize your Google business profile. So like you saw for all of those searches, there is going to be the map pack showing up here. The way the map pack works for hotels and bed and breakfast and stuff like that is a little bit different than for other businesses, but you still would want to mention that in your title, right? So you see the title here, they said it in the Gastonian Kehoe House. You still would want to mention bed and breakfast in Savannah, right? So Google knows that your business is a bed and breakfast in Savannah, but it does help mentioning that in your the actual title of your Google business profile. And you also want to focus on getting as much reviews as often as possible, just because for your business to show up, it needs to be relevant to what people are looking for, and you need to have a lot of reviews, and you need to be getting reviews quite often, right? It's review velocity and review count are huge ranking factors for Google business profile. So you are going to want to have a Google business profile strategy in place for your bed and breakfast. You're also going to want to focus on social media. So especially for the younger crowd or even the older crowd as well, Instagram is huge, TikTok is huge. If you have the time, if you have the know-how to do that, paid media works incredibly well on Instagram. You can add retargeting, and people that are looking to travel somewhere are looking up places on Instagram, on Facebook, even YouTube as well. So if you can be running Instagram ads, if you can post regularly on Instagram, it's also an integral part of any bed and breakfast marketing strategy, and it's something you don't want to overlook. It's the same with influencer marketing. Again, it's a very small part of marketing your BNB, but it's very important to work with influencers, especially local or regional influencers that can link back to your website. That's just going to boost it in the search engines. It's going to drive relevant traffic to your website, and it can result in bookings. And at the very least, it's a very low cost to get links, just to host somebody, to have them promote your business online on their platforms. It's a very it's a very low cost, inexpensive way to get links and drive authority and relevance for your own bed and breakfast website. And finally, well, you guys probably are already set up on all the online travel agencies, all the OTAs. Don't forget Airbnb. It's a great way to book rooms. As you can see here, for a lot of these searches, for example, Lake Placid, a lot of these are going to be online travel agencies. While they do take a cut, you still are going to want to set up on these, just because they can drive a lot of traffic if you're not running ads, if you're not focused on SEO, and they can even be the bulk of your business. For example, on Booking.com, if you do optimize your Booking.com profile with great images, with relevant text, with titles and everything. I have a video about that, but it does make it a lot easier to drive bookings, especially when you're starting out, or if you don't have a dedicated marketing budget, or you just don't have the time to worry about marketing. You don't want to avoid those OTAs. You want to make sure you're set up on as many of them as you can, as well as Airbnb, because Airbnb can fill rooms very fast and regularly, especially in areas where you are offering a competitive price. If you have great reviews, great photos, Airbnb is a great way to go. And the last thing I recommend is becoming a local authority. And there are two ways to approach this with your website. So with content, you want to cover your local area in as much detail as you can. So anytime someone does look up something, whether it's on Instagram or on YouTube, for example, or just on Google, you want your website to be the one that's showing up. And then for video content, for YouTube especially, if you can make videos about your property, your area, the region, things to do, places to go, where to eat, stuff like that, that can all help drive traffic and relevance and authority. But traffic, especially relevant traffic, people that are planning on visiting your area, you can drive all that traffic to your bed and breakfast websites and just generate bookings through that. And that's a long-term kind of evergreen strategy that can be used quite effectively and efficiently if you want to make sure that your rooms are filled all the time throughout the year. That's really about it. This is kind of a super broad overview of how to market your bed and breakfast, typically online. There are offline strategies, but that's not something I typically implement or even look into on my own. And thank you for watching. If you made it this far, don't forget you can click the link down below and set up a free consultation call with me. I'm happy to take a look at your current bed and breakfast marketing plan, make any recommendations, and see if there's any opportunity to work together to grow your BNB online. But like I said, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.